Let's talk about books, Shody. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the weird things and the good things that we read. Let's talk about books.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent. We are so excited because I don't know who we're big fangirls for joining us again. We're so excited.
Well, I just proclaim that she is our author of the year, adjacent author of the year, Ashley Manley.
Yay! It's a title I never even knew to reach for. Thank you.
It never existed before today.
Is this our third time together this year?
Yes.
I love that for us. And I'm like, I was thinking about it when I was, trying to make my bedroom look clean. I'm like, I bet these girls are just like, let's give Ashley one more time to look good.
No way.
No, I think other than that, we enjoy your energy and your these great talks, but you're so prolific at putting these books out that we're just like, we have to talk about them every time they come out.
Well, I love I would rather talk to people who have read my books.
Yes.
And people who are like, tell us about your book. That is when people say that to me, I just want to die. And so, I love this. So thank you all for having me.
Oh, no.
Well, Shelly gave me this gift. She had read it. She passed it on to me. I'm going to get a copy for everybody in my family and put it in the stockings because I'm like, this is the sweetest book.
Thank you.
So before we start, what were your holidays like growing up? I'm just curious.
They were not anything like Hollis's. My parents kind of were, I don't want to say Christmas was an afterthought, right? But they were just like, all right, yeah, here we are again, and they did what needed to be done, but it was not I don't remember, and I don't know if I ever baked cookies with my mom, to be honest. Like, she's not a baker. We had a Christmas tree, but now my parents, there's no kids in the house. They came to, we already had our Christmas. They do not have any decorations up. So I feel like that kind of summarizes what my childhood was like, even though we had the tree and we did what needed to be done. But I don't know if my parents are ever like, yay, there was no frosty wasn't going on the roof anywhere or anything like that. So I don't know if y'all see it, but like for me, the pendulum kind of like feel like how we grow up, we either emulate or we like go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yes.
And so for me, I was the latter, and I was like, we're gonna have all these traditions. So I can be like Hollis, but we're not, because Hollis was the way she was because she grew up like that, right? And she was like, I had all these traditions and now you're going to have all these traditions. And for me, Jordan's here. For me, it was very much, I had some, we had some traditions, but I want to do everything for my kids. And I mean, I think, I don't know how old your kids are, but mine are younger still. And I'm sure that I've learned quickly some of that isn't sustainable. I'm like, oh, the elf.
I love all the elf stuff. I saw this video, this woman like knocking down the kid, running down the stairs, and just taking the elf and throwing it to the other side of the house before any of the kids came down the stairs. It made me laugh so hard.
Yeah. So what I've heard about the elf is it's more fun when the kids are older.
Yes.
You can, who knows who's listening right here, but the elves do different things when.
Yeah, like they look like they got drunk or they have cigarettes next to them. And stuff.
Well, they're hanging out with Snoop on a stoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it alive. I'm glad we were past the elf. we were done before the elf like really came on board.
That was not, I mean, even if that would have been a thing, I can guarantee in my childhood home, my parents would not have been inviting any elf into the situation. Whereas I'm like, we need more. Like, we need a family. Let's bring the family in. And then it's like day one, it's fun. And day two, you're like, I have to do this every.
Why did I start this?
Yeah. And my husband, even last night, I'm like, hey, you have a job to go do. And he's like, I hate you. I hate you 10 years ago who thought we needed to do this. And I'm like,
How old are your kids, Ashley?
they're 9 and 11.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're still in it.
Yeah, the 9. We're in it with the 9-year-old. Still, the 11-year-old is he still's like, I'm like, can you help me with this? He's like, oh no, Christmas magic says we don't touch. I'm like, you know the magic, like, and he's like, you know. So anyway,
He's like, oh my gosh. He's writing in his journal, no elf on a shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Jordan, what was your childhood holidays like?
They were, I mean, it felt, I don't know, the best part is probably normal. Like we always did Christmas at my house. And my family from Oklahoma would drive in on Christmas Day. And like normally my grandparents would come stay with us. Like my dad's mom lived in the area, but sometimes she'd still come stay at the house too. So like everybody was always in our house. My mom had this very nowadays I'd call it extra Christmas tree because it was like,
was it
I'm thinking how tall? No. Luckily, it was a normal color, but it was because the way our house was set up, you came in the front door and the stairs were right by the front door, but they were like, they had a corner in them. So you'd put the tree in the corner. And for some reason, my mom thought the tree had to fill the entire little corner here. So it's like 8 feet around and like 15 feet tall. We have to get a ladder out, like an actual ladder out to put decorations on it. But that was always the big thing is like, usually our friends would come over and like help us decorate, probably just because mom needed the help or the tree would never get decorated because it was so big. But when she made it a whole thing. So, I mean, that's kind of, you're talking about traditions. The one thing we always did, and this, I don't know the whole backstory, but it is a German tradition, is the Christmas pickle, which
We love that.
Okay, I was like, it's very on brand for me, pickle related, but yes, so we started doing that because we went, I must have been maybe 10, and we went to do Thanksgiving with one of my dad's friends who had moved to England, and they picked up the Christmas pickle tradition from there somehow, and so then we picked it up when we went that one year and just had been doing it ever since. And I do still have a little Christmas pickle on my personal tree.
Yeah. I picked it up because I saw other people doing it and I wanted to make my kids have these memories. And so
see, there you guys. I mean, they'll still have the pickle
like, I don't know.
23 years later.
We're like, we don't know what it means, but we're gonna.
But we have one. No, essentially, Shelly, Jody, y'all know what that is?
Yeah, my kids did
okay.
it too.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
nothing's funnier than a Christmas pickle. I mean, so much comedy.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Jordan, because you're away from family, you do have a Christmas tree up.
Oh yes. I Halloween is still my favorite holiday, but I love like decorating for Christmas. So I went out like the Whitewater Center near me. They're having a whole Christmas market. They had a Christmas tree lot. So I have a live tree. I didn't mean to do a live tree, but now I'm fully committed. Like I have a live tree. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bring on the needles.
Yes. The vacuum does not ever get put away. Just every day.
It's right behind the tree, and then you just
right there. Yes. It's actually now just like hanging on the tree like an ornament.
Okay. Well, Ashley, how many trees do you have?
Oh, we just have one tree. And I have this hysterical picture from years ago. We used to get live trees. And I found this one that's like the shortest, fattest tree in the lot. And I don't know, like I like related to it. I'm like, I feel so seen with this tree. I insisted we get it. I'd love to find the picture. It's like in the back of Kevin's truck. You know, it looks ridiculous. We get it home. It doesn't fit in we lived in a small house at that time. We live in a small house now, but it didn't fit. So we had to cut the tree in half and like Kevin had to put bolts into the wall to like tie it up so it stayed standing. And I mean, I loved that tree, but we have a pink Christmas tree now, if you haven't seen on Instagram. But I got the pink Christmas tree. It was like a barter because I said, if you never want to have to go through that again with the bolts and like me insisting on getting the squatter, then I want the pink Christmas tree. And so we have one pink Christmas tree. It's delightful, you know, and it came with lights. It's like pre-lit. So this was like part of the selling point to Kevin. Unfortunately, we're at year 2 with this pink Christmas tree. The lights all went out. So the first day, Kevin is cutting off the lights. And because the tree is pink, you can't just get like a green strand or a white strand. I had to special order these pink strands of white lights. I could not tell, like it cost as much as the tree. I can never tell Kevin that. It's like a gift, you know, the gift that keeps on giving. But yeah, we have one pink tree and it's not real anymore. But you know, I love real trees. I love Christmas decorations because it's the only time of year Kevin's okay with me like cluttering the house, you know, and it feels so cozy. But the worst day of my life every year is taking the decorations down and seeing how much decorating I need to do because I'm like, what can we do to fill this space now? You know, And so anyway, that's coming. You know, just a few weeks away from me being like, oh, I bought all this stuff online to hang.
Well, when do you take your holiday decorations down? I think this is fascinating.
So it really depends on Kevin's mood. All of this goes back to him. Like some years we're unwrapping gifts and he's like, all right, I got the box of ornaments here. I'm going to start taking them down while you guys like do all this, you know? And then some days I can push it out a little longer. I would just keep them up. You know, I just love how cozy it feels, but yeah, it's like somewhere between Christmas Day and New Year's.
Yeah,
it really depends.
Yeah. What is Kevin's sign? What's his zodiac sign?
Oh, I don't know. His birthday's November 23rd. What's his sign?
Okay.
Might be a Scorpio.
And is that an angry one? I knew not artistic.
So it's a Sagittarius.
He just put labels in our refrigerator because he hates how I just throw stuff in there like it's a jungle. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to listen to your labels. So when
I was about to ask, are you going to follow the labels? Because like, no, you put labels in my fridge.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, you go ahead and do that. You just go ahead and see what happens. And so then sometimes the kids will be watching me. I'm like, your dad made me mad. And I'm like, in the condiments into the dairy section. I don't care what he says. And so, yeah, that's marriage.
Well, we just had an expert on astrology on, and so he may be a Sagittarius, which has more of an adventurous spirit as his sun sign, but his moon sign might be more like a Virgo or somebody very
Is that the angry side? Yeah, that's
no, they're just very structured. They're very structured. They're not angry.
Yeah, one feels angry.
But maybe their signs just combat each other. And it's just constant.
Well, I mean, you can tell like in the bathroom which side of the sink is his, which side's mine, the nightstands, the kitchen, like everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, woo, life's a jungle. He's like, woo, life's more like an IKEA just.
Yeah, that's like John in my closets. Like mine's all a mess and his is very different. You know, everything has a space. So let's talk about the Holiday Club.
Okay.
How sweet is this book? It really made me think about what I've been holding on to for traditions. And as your kids get older, they can't come to the holidays. They have conflict. They need holidays on different times. And so your traditions really change. And as much as I try to hold on to it, some of it has to go the wayside and you have to be very flexible. But boy, did Hollis get the shaft at the beginning with her divorce and the holiday schedule. It really made me sad.
Well, you know, my mother-in-law said she like, I talked to her when she had read just the beginning and she said, I'd give him the house. I don't care. I wouldn't want those holidays. I'm like, well, I mean, it could be a nice house, Linda. You know, we just don't know. But yeah, you know,
I'm gonna uproot the whole family so I can have my Christmas.
Yeah, but we kind of talked about my view on traditions, right? Like I've been shoving it down everyone's throat since a person came out of me. And but my kids are still at home. So as far as like us as a family unit, we still have whatever we're cultivating. But outside of that, life has changed. We've moved. The health of my parents have changed, who's willing to drive, where we live. And, once we had 25 people coming for Thanksgiving, and now we had several years when we were living in a camper where, it was kind of nice. Nobody wanted to be in the camper with us. And so it was just four. But you see these change with seasons. I think no matter how, despite kids, despite that piece, the world keeps moving, and even if it feels like, oh, we're going to move to this house. It doesn't feel like, and you don't think about the holidays, much during that. And then all of a sudden the holidays are here and you're like, wow, that decision is changing how this year looks. And, so I feel that, like, I feel it at the holiday season, and I feel what I thought holidays would look like and the kind of mom I'd be. I feel it when I look on social media and see the kind of holidays everyone else is having. And I'm like, wow, I really suck. And here is a truth about me. I hate parades. Like, I hate the parking. I hate the noise. I think the candy's not so great. Like, I don't get it. But there are people who are like, oh, I can go to the parade. I'm like, are you going to a different parade than I went to last year because you're really happy about this? And I just feel like we must have been somewhere different. And I feel guilty that I don't like that stuff, And so last year, before this book was written, before I even knew I was going to write a Christmas book, we went to the parade in town, and my son was having fun. He's like kind of aggressive. He's like basically like in front of the floats stealing their candy. And my daughter's back next to me crying because it's cold. Her bag has like a peppermint in it. I'm miserable, and so I look at her and I said, are you having so much fun? Like, clearly anyone with two eyeballs could see this little person is not having any fun. And she's like, I don't even like parades. And I was thinking, I don't even like parades either, but I've never told my kids that. So here I am, like this false cheer mama coming into town with my light up sweater, like, well, this is the best, even though inside, like, I hated it. And so it really made me think about these things that we're doing and why are we doing them? Are we doing them because we love it? Are we doing them because we think we're supposed to love it? Are we doing it because everyone else loves it? And so kind of got my wheels turning, because I know I can't be alone, even though everyone on social media loves parades. I know some of them have to be lying. Like, someone is lying somewhere. Yeah. And so, anyway, what's been interesting about the book is that I've seen several people out here in my town and gotten messages like, thank you for freeing me from the guilt that comes with holidays. We skipped all the parades this year, or we skipped this thing this year. And I read them to Kevin and he's like, so what you're saying is you're now ruining Christmas for everyone.
No.
And I'm like, oh, no, all the moms everywhere are like, okay, now we just sit at home for 2 straight weeks, and I know it's not what's happening, but it's been really, it's brought up some really interesting conversations with people who have felt like they have always had to do these things that maybe they don't have to, maybe the show will go on, even if the show looks a little different,
Agreed. And Jody and I have talked about it because when you become empty nesters, the Christmas changes. I mean, putting up a tree is now absurdly ridiculous. Like, nobody's coming to see it.
True.
In my opinion. And so Jody
that's not true.
Jody has 3 trees. And
no, I just have trees, but I don't put the ornaments on. I only put lights.
She has 3 trees.
Well, they're like little.
No, they're not.
Hey, to make you off growing up, this is one thing I forgot. Growing up, each of us used to have a tree in our room too. So we had an extra tree downstairs, plus a still small human sized tree in our room that we also decorated. So extra trees, that's fine, Jody.
It's cozy.
Extra trees.
As long as
the light is so nice also, because I'm not a big light person anyway. So I have a gazillion lamps, and now I have the Christmas tree as an extra lamp.
Yeah,
so
it's
not
just
turn on the
ambient
red
light.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Shelly. I don't have I stopped putting the ornaments on it because A, that's a pain. I just put the lights on, which is hard enough. That's hard enough. But one of them's just those trees that look like an aspen tree with just lights. So I just plug that one in. But I realized none of my kids really cared, or if they do, what I'm going to do is just put all the ornaments out and say, take the ones you want for your trees.
Good one.
And then I'm going to let that go because that is a big release. So, but I agree with you, Ashley. When we were growing up, we would go to the Trail of Lights and the tree in Austin, spin under the tree, do all of that. But that's when the Trail of Lights, people would just drive through the Trail of Lights, which is awful for the environment. And so now I was like, John, we should go to the Trail of Lights this year. But then I looked and the line was like all the way down Mopac. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to drive through people's neighborhoods and look at the lights.
Or on YouTube.
Yeah. Or yeah.
Like that, you're like, we're going.
Check. We do the Christmas tree like January 2nd when nobody's there.
Nobody goes. Yeah. You're like, we're going to keep this going.
But I have to tell you, your book really resonated for those empty nesters because you're going through the process of letting the holidays go because, you know, your kids are getting married and they're starting their own holiday and you have to make the change. And so it just really resonated with me because I'm like, for Jody, I'm the Grinch. She's like, wah, wah.
Well,
What are you going to do for the holiday?
So put up a tree at least. Like
we have one of those aspen plug-in trees.
that's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that tree. It takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we put 4 ornaments on it and call it a day.
I love it.
Yeah. And but as the holidays progress, you know, you start talking to your kids and they're like, I hate the parade. Why do you make us do this?
Yeah.
And so you start backing off of it. I have a child with autism, so all of this drives him nuts.
Yeah.
And so I loved your book gave that a voice.
Yeah.
And then I love, oh my gosh, I love the guys. I love the club that they were like, no, we do not find joy in this. We're not going to do it. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to go bowling. We're going to do all these other things. And I love that they found their own vibe for the holidays. And I think that's what everybody, you know.
But in your book, did you feel like Jay or Hollis evolved the most?
Hollis. I would say, you know, Jay was never, I don't think, totally he loved Christmas, you know, he loved the holidays. He was just more anti doing things you don't want to do for the sake of doing them, right? Like if he did not want to sit in that park on the wet ground and watch It's a Wonderful Life because George Bailey's a bit much. I mean, I said what I said, America, you know.
I have to say, I think I'm the only one that loves that movie, but I used to make my kids watch it. They were like, that's it. We're not doing it anymore. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it by myself.
I had never watched it. And Kevin's like, him and I first got together, we watch It's a Wonderful Life when we're decorating the tree. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do the darn thing. And so we start watching. I'm like, gosh, this guy kind of complains a lot for someone who gets the angel. You know, I'm just saying, like, oh, I'm saving everyone, but then I'm going to whine about it. And so why do we have to have all these kids? And I'm like, all right. Like, what you doing?
I just feel like George Bailey went too quickly to the dark side of not even trying to really resolve the problem. Just like, I'm done. I'm out of here. You know?
Yeah, hee haw yourself, George Bailey. Like, that's what I have to say about that.
Relax.
So, so I definitely think he wasn't a Scrooge. He was just like, I'm here to do what I want to do. And granted, he wanted some more traditional things. And I think there was a little bit of, you know, reluctance to go to that because he didn't have everything, you know, that came with it. And he didn't want to be ridiculed like we all don't want to be for not showing up to the parade or, you know, whatever it is. And I mean, the reality is, if you don't show up to the parade, people really aren't going to be like, oh my God, did you hear Ashley Manley didn't go to the parade? Like, no one cares. Nobody cares.
Even if they say it, that's not going to last on the gram. So it's fine.
Yeah. And so, anyway, yeah, what's interesting is the Holiday Club actually started out with 5 members. And since I had never written a novella before, and I wanted this to be short because I actually just picked up a Christmas book last night. I downloaded on my Kindle. I'm like, 450 pages. Like, do I need that much Christmas? Probably not, And then I read a chapter. I'm like, I can't do it. And it had nothing to do with the book. It was just the length. So when I was writing, I knew I wanted it to be a novella because, we can only be so cheery. And I had this huge holiday club. There was an old lady who rode a motorcycle, and then there was some other guy, and then there was, of course, Marv. And as I started writing, I'm like, how are all these characters going to have a personality in such a short book? So everyone got booted from the club except Marv, obviously.
Yeah.
And, who I love.
He's hilarious. He's such a great. I love his conspiracy theories. It's just like, yes, I know so many people like that.
Yeah. Well, and it was fun because I'm just like, what is the most unhinged thought he can think right here? Perfect. But yeah, and so it was really fun to write. That's also why the articles were in there, because it kind of sped up her growth as a character without having to tell a full chapter's worth of story. We just got that
so smart. So smart. I love the novella. I think you're right. I think sometimes the long Christmassy books, you get kind of like, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Do I have this much invested in me to do this?
Yeah.
So this is very smart.
Yeah.
Again, Ashley, you did it again.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Take that biker woman, and that's your novella for next year.
Yeah.
The Holiday Club in Florida. Okay. She's a Scientologist. Her name is Jody. She has 7 Christmas trees. Just joking.
It continues to grow. It grows, it grows.
Oh wow. So okay. You were on a plane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happened? You had a big meeting.
Wait, I was on a plane and had a big meeting. Did I?
Did you go on a trip to Hollywood or something? Or
wait. No, wait.
I was like, Shelly, what?
Wait, I'm like, did I? Hold on a second. Hag brain. Coffee.
You have to spell it out, Shelly. Ask the question.
There was a post where you were on a plane and you had a big meeting.
I had a big event.
A big event. What was your big event?
That was actually an event in my hometown. It was not Hollywood. I am sorry. The movie, I think we talked about that last time. That's still floating around in the Hollywood
process.
Yeah. I have nothing exciting to report there. Yeah. My plane trip was to Florida. It was an event in my hometown, which is actually when I published, I wanted nobody to hate me because that's who I am. And I wanted nobody in my hometown to ever know I did this. And then, so me going back to my hometown for this event, where my high school guidance counselor was, where my middle school principal was, where the minister's wife was, I'm just like, and I was very stressed out. But it was lovely. It was a lovely event. And I saw, friends from high school, and it was great. But it's just one of those things you kind of have to just power through. And I sat in the car and I'm like, I'm about to go in here and it's going to be one of those intervention shows where everyone's like, we gathered the hometown to talk to you about why you should not do this and ruin our good reputation, and it just didn't happen like that, which was wonderful. But yeah, that's the plane ride was to Dixie County, Florida, if nobody's ever heard of, and that's just fine and dandy. And was not to Hollywood. I will tell you, you'll know when I make it to Hollywood because I'll have it'll be a bunch of pictures of me like this. Everyone will be like, cool. And I'll be like,
I cannot imagine that your hometown would be upset. People love to unless it's Murder USA, they love to hear their stories about their town and
Yeah,
receive it.
they were
I
great.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they support it unless you're like OJ Simpson. You can also murder people and they'll
Yeah.
celebrate you in your town.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't even had
Allegedly.
I haven't even had to do that.
Yeah, like they were just like, you wrote a book, you don't even have to like escalate this to a life of crime.
Right.
Even involve the court system. Way to
Rocket
go.
chase or a glove, like I don't have any of it.
None of it.
Okay, tell us about what's your next book? I think it's Reese, but is there one in between?
Yeah, so here's what's interesting. I did not mean to release 3 books this year. I knew June's book was going to be released in April, and then kind of there was like a little bit of a financial caveat. It had to do well, or I had to slow down publishing, because I think I've told y'all each book costs between $5,000 and $7,000 for me to publish.
Yes.
And my husband, labeling the fridge, despite all of his weirdness, is super supportive of me. But, at some point we have to be like, okay, this is a lot of money, that is coming out. And so I had to see how June's book released before anything else came out. And at this point, Scotty's book was mostly written, and I had written The Holiday Club, but I wasn't going to have any editors until I knew what made sense.
Right.
And June's book released really well. And so then it's like, well, we can move forward with Scotty, and we could move forward with this holiday book. And so now that the year is ending, it felt like a lot, right? Like 3 books in 1 year. I mean, I know like Frida McFadden is like cracking books out. Like, I don't know how she does it, and she's like, oh, I just operated on a brain, and now I'm going to go write this, book. Then, oh, it's going to be a movie. It's a lot for me. And so I had said, I'm not going to do this again next year. Like, 3 books is too much. Well, I don't want to share too much because I don't want to ruin it in case nothing happens. But I had a conversation last week with a friend, and I just thought this could be a Christmas book.
Awesome.
And so I thought, well, I'm just going to see if I can write this. You can only release Christmas books at certain times of year.
That's right.
So I'm like, if I can write this, maybe I'll release another one next year. So, over the weekend, just in all my free time, I wrote 6,000 words in this Christmas book. I know. Right. And so maybe that's coming next year, but maybe it dies. You just don't know kind of until you get into it. But what's fun with these Christmas books is it's very low stakes. Like, you're only going to make money for a couple months. I know it'll be a novella and it'll be shorter, so the costs will be lower. It'll be more fun. If people hate it, I'm like, well, you're a Scrooge, and that's called Christmas cheer. And so, but anyway, so this is kind of a long answer to work me back to where I am. So initially, my plan was to release 1 book next year called The History Between. And it's about a woman named Rue who faces financial ruin. Actually, I just have an almost finalized back of the book blurb I can read y'all if you even care. Yes. But anyway, so that was my plan for next year, is just release that. And it's the start of a 3-book series about 3 sisters. So it's Rue, Reese, and Remy.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just finished a very rough and horrific first draft of Reese's book. And that's how I was able to start writing this Christmas idea I had over the weekend. So basically, I finished this first draft, and my thought was, maybe I'll release it in spring 2027. But depending on how long it takes me to get the draft to like a usable thing, maybe it could release in the fall. And if it releases in the fall, then we would have Rue, Reese, and maybe a Christmas book again next year. So I don't really know, even though it's like the thing I've said over and over, I'll never do this again. And now here I am proving myself a liar. So I don't know if I'll do it again, but that right now is what I'm working on. And so I'm just, I feel like it, people say to me, take time off, why do you push yourself, whatever. I genuinely love what I'm doing. And I feel like the reason people look at me and think, you're working too hard or whatever, is because on the weekends, I want to wake up and have an hour working because I love it so much. And I think it's a foreign concept for a lot of people because nobody loves their job that much. You know, I shouldn't say nobody, but most people aren't like, it's Saturday, I get to work. Like, you know, and I genuinely every single day feel like I've been given this gift to get to sit here and make up Marvs, you know, and make up a hippie working in a vineyard who thinks, you know, sexual music makes grapes grow, or, you know, whatever this is that I get to do. And then I get these messages from people that are just people are so good to me. So yeah, I'm gonna like get emotional. I really feel lucky.
But and it shows in your art. And I think that's why we're so drawn to you. It's because you're this light and you're passionate about it. Bravo. I want more books. I want more books. I love them.
Yeah, we love your book.
I
love your character development and your
Thank you.
stories. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
But I just love that you're writing about realistic women.
Mhm.
Don't you feel like that, Jordan? I feel like the women are so real.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, every book you read, there's someone I'm like, oh, I love that a lot of them I'm like, oh, I would hang out with that person.
Yeah, and that's, you want that person, even if it's not you. Like, I think Birdie was one where people could definitely relate to how she felt, or were like, this girl is nuts, right? And like for me, I've never been as crazy as her maybe about things, but I have like in spurts, right? I have days where I'm like, there are microplastics in this water and we are not drinking water ever again, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's not my whole life, but I felt like that. Same as Scotty. Like she's not how most women are, but we have the thoughts, right? Like, and so you want them to feel like, even if they're not you, that you want to see them win, because they're enough of someone you know or you have seen in yourself that you're like, I get it, you know? And so
Scotty was one that it took me a moment to connect with her.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, it's on.
Yeah.
We're buddies.
Yeah, and it was hard, right? Like, because I knew I wanted to write her different than she is my total opposite, right? Like, she is just, and so that made it difficult and fun, right? Because she's so unlike me. I don't know how to behave. But then on the other hand, I'm like, okay, you know, the opposite of what I would do and say in every situation. I had people reaching out to me, like, there were so many times Scotty said something, I was just like, I had to close the book because it stressed me out so badly, because you're like, who says that, you know?
So I had to walk off from that book so many times because I was like, Scotty, stop getting in your own damn way.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, girl.
Yeah. So
he's right there.
Yeah. And so those things make it fun. They make it fun for me to create these different characters. And, you know, I know they all aren't, because I feel like my main characters are so different. I know they won't resonate the same with every reader, right? Like, and some people are like, I love every book, and some people are like, oh, I've had the most people tell me they didn't like Scotty out of all of them. They're like, I didn't like her, and I'm like, that's fine, you know. I mean, if I was Scotty, I'd tell you to, you know, walk off. But I'm not. I'm just gonna be like, I'm so sorry, I upset you with my writing. But anyway, it's fun to get to explore it, and I will say, with time, it's brought me recognizing that if I want to write different stories every time, which I do, I don't want to be the one that's like, okay, it's summer, here comes the book about this same setting and these, you know, these same type of characters. That's just not the kind of writer I am. And so I know by having a stay-at-home mom who's at the breaking point, and then this unhinged crematorium owner, and then, you know, all this, it's like the girl who thinks she's going to die of cancer. Like, I get that it's risky to do that, because if you expect one kind of character, you won't find it. The only thing they have in common is middle age, really, you know? And so, but it's fun, and I'm happy to do
I love it.
And, you know,
I love it. And I love your little nuggets, like in the Holiday Club, talking about the ledger.
Yeah.
There's a store.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yay.
Well,
That's what she's talking about.
circling back on like some of your characters, sometimes when people get really upset with a character, it's because that character is something in themselves that they get frustrated with.
I got a lot of that from June. I got a lot of messages from women who said, I spent the first half of this book hating June, and then I realized it's because I see so much of me in her.
Right.
And so, it's nobody likes to look in the mirror at the hardest parts of us.
Right.
And June was, people were like, June was annoying. Yeah, she was annoying. That's
Yeah.
If all the characters are just like these perfect, I'm not perfect, and like we're all annoying, and I always feel weird when I say that, but we are all annoying. We might not be June, right? But we are all annoying.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So anyway, I try to write these annoying characters.
Well, and the great thing about a holiday novella is the Christmas creep, as Joe Dale says, is starting now in October.
Oh,
so you could release a holiday book in October and get a lot of sales in before the end of the holiday.
Yeah. So we'll see. I got to write. It's like this was a big experiment for me this year to see if it was worth it, to see if I could do it, to see if anyone wanted it, and so it was fun enough, and it's led to enough fun conversations. I'm like, okay, well, I can try again and see if this next kind of weird idea has enough legs to like march its way through the year. So we just see. But
yeah. And speaking of the holiday creep, Jody, the holiday movies that they put out this year, the Holiday Club would have been much better than most of them.
Oh yes.
So hopefully you get a call from Netflix or Hallmark going, please, please, please.
Oh my gosh, I would love it on the screen.
I just want Dwight Schrute cast as Marv.
Oh, yes, making so. Oh my gosh. And the guy from what is that, Stranger Things, to be Jay.
I don't know that.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
That's weird. This will be my end of call Google search.
Yeah. Well, Ashley, it has been so great.
Oh my God.
Connecting with you. We love your books. We are just, again, big fangirls for you.
Thank y'all very much.
Keep it coming. We are just.
Look at it.
We all have. No, this was Stellar and Nail again because I was there for.
Oh, that's right.
A book club. And so last book club, this is what I got. I was trying to get a new book.
That's awesome. Hey, tell us how people can support you at this juncture. Like how we're getting you in the libraries.
Yeah.
Buying the book.
Libraries, my books. So Every Beautiful Mile and Forever and Back right now are on audio. They're on audio via Audible. So you can listen that way. Now to Forever comes out in January. And I just found out the rights are probably going to be purchased for the Holiday Club for next year. So that'll be out, next Christmas. Requesting from your library. Digital books are available now through the library. That was a change that came to Kindle a few months ago. And just, tell a friend. I mean, I feel like that's, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say, just now in this interview, I went on my Amazon. I ordered more holiday clubs for some stuff.
Oh, thank you.
So get on it. It was quick and easy, and you're giving a good gift. So, all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We love you.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Texas.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.